In this video, we are looking at three very capable IEMs. All of these are under $200, so there are no issues there. When it comes to budget, yes, for some, I really believe that 200, they are not willing to spend 200, but I believe most of us either own a IEM in this $200 range or is eagerly looking forward to some of this. Now, I do admit that the Shuoer, Shuoer, I don't know how you guys pronounce it, but I believe it's Shuoer S12, and this is my first only planar based IEM. Yes, the Tri i3 Pro do has a planar. It's a tri-brid IEM. It has one DD, one BA, and one 8 mm planar, which is fairly good. I barely have any complaints about the Tri i3 Pro, and this is a simpler hybrid IEM, 2BA, 1DD. All of these are very capable IEMs. There are no issues when it comes to quality or anything like that. They do not come with shoddy build or uh, reasonable or average looking cables. All these cables are very good in quality. Now I have to admit the i3 Pro and the THhifi Face Red come with a bit more supple kind of cable, while the S12, as you guys can see, is kind of on the rigid side. It doesn't really fall on its back, but you guys can see this is fairly supple. It goes both ways, and same goes for this one too. This is fairly supple. You guys can see there are no issues when it comes to suppleness of these two cables. While this one is slightly on the stiffer side, yes, one definitely can say that this is slightly thicker. So yeah, it is holding its shape and stuff. But obviously, if it is stiff, it is stiff. There are no two ways about it. I cannot say a stiff cable is not stiff because it is thick. That is not an excuse by any means. Now these two have two pin two pin connectors. These are two pin, while the THhifi Face Red has MMCX. Even though it is face MMCX, this is not exactly loose or anything like that. This has very good amount of resistance and feel very sturdy, does not wobble or anything like that. So that is a very good thing about the Face Red. Now THhifi is very new in the market. You can consider this as a comparison video of all these three. These are the new ones. This is the older one. I have been a fan of the Tri i3 Pro. It has been one of my favorite IEMs in the $200 price range. This has been the most detailed, most capable IEM in this price range. Now, how do these two compare? As I said, all these three IEMs are fantastic. There are no issues with them. Yes, there are some nitpicking, obviously, but they do not sound horrible at anything. Now let's start with the bass. All these three are very good when it comes to the lower end. They are not boomy, they are well bodied. The smallest body I'll have to say is the Tri i3 Pro. Tri i3 Pro doesn't have a very boomy kind of feel to it. It is a bit more tighter, slightly less voluminous than these two. The Face Red has a bit of body. Thanks to the mid bass emphasis, it has good amount of body, and the uh, mid bass is slightly fuller, slightly meatier with it. So it kind of feels like this one is a bit more punchy, a bit more moving a bit more of air. The S12 is very close, but this one is a bit more voluminous, while this is similarly punchy, but the volume is slightly smaller. None of these are, I cannot categorize any of these three as a bassy IM. They have good amount of bass. This cannot be considered as a uh, good bass, slightly balanced kind of bass this has. This isn't overpowering or anything like that. This can feel slightly overpowering, slightly more voluminous, as I said. All these have very good texture. There are no issues with texture. This do this this planar IEM has a bit more rumble to it. Okay, a bit more texture, a bit more definition to it, a bit more rumble to it. Now, moving on to the mid range, I'll have to say I was really impressed with this. But all these three are very impressive. There are no issues, as I told you guys. There barely are any issues. But yes, if you are sensitive to some extra energy, some extra bit of definition, or say sharpness, in other words, extra bit of energy, S12 can feel a bit shouty. It isn't very controlled. It doesn't hold back the energy. It kind of tries to get ahead of the limitations, and can feel a bit shouty, a bit uh, extra energetic. Yes, I will not say it is very comfortable. It is kind of uncomfortable at times, especially when you have paired it with something that is more balanced or anything. If you pair it with a warmer source, you might feel that yeah, it is doing reasonably okay. But if you pair it with a neutral or slightly brighter source, you will find this to be slightly annoying to intolerable for those who are looking for smoother signature. Or else there are no issues with timbre, no issues with tonality. There is no deal breaker here. This one, the Tri i3 Pro, kind of sounds slightly dryish, while this one is slightly more musical. While the issue with this one, the S12, Shuoer S12, is that it kind of feels less dynamic. Timber texture, no issues. Very good texture with this. Uh, Very good texture with this and this too. There are no issues with texture, timber, or anything like that. Both male and female vocals sound very similar. If I am giving this uh, face red uh, 90 out of 100, this one will be around 87 out of 100, and this one will be very similar to that, 85. So it really depends what you are listening to and what tips you are using too, because these tips can be slightly vocal forward or anything like that. In any case, all these are very good, very similar. No issues with tonality, timbre, details, or anything like that. Now moving on to the treble region, that is where things get more separated. All these three IEMs have different characteristics when it comes to treble region. While the face red is smooth, it doesn't attack you. It has good amount of details. It does not lack with details or anything like that. But that upper treble region is slightly, marginally less with energy. But when it comes to the S12, it doesn't go down. Okay, it maintains the energy till the end. At the end region, there is some lack of energy, but for a IEM that is priced under $200, the extension and stuff are fantastic. No questions about that. It is superb. I have no complaints about that. Now, Tri i3 Pro has been one of my favorite IEM because of its triple region, triple quality. Now, what happens with the Tri i3 Pro is that the energy is maintained till the lower treble, mid treble region, and it kind of slightly dips in the upper treble region, slightly, but the dip is further enough. But since the upper, since the lower and mid treble region are very energetic, kind of very forwardish, it kind of feels that drop is a bit more aggressive. It kind of feels more aggressive than the face red, but in reality this one still has good amount of energy in the upper treble region than this. But since this lowers the energy in the lower treble and mid treble region, that drop in treble region doesn't feel that aggressive, but this one kind of feels a bit more aggressive. This is more linear with that. Now let's talk about the extracurricular stuff like stage and stuff. I used good quality sources with that micro signature with all these three, and all these three are very good, fantastic when it comes to stage. But yes, the Tri i3 Pro has the smallest one. It doesn't have a very good x-axis expansion, but the height is good. While this one is the more all-rounder kind of stage, very well expanded, very 3D kind of projection. While the face red has a bit of lifted stage. It is kind of starts from your neck from here and goes up. It is much taller, but doesn't have very good downward projection. This one does all directional projection. Is well rounded, and uh, downward projection is that too. There is some upper projection, and it sounds more 3D, more 3D. You feel the instruments surround you. But the issue with the S12 is that it doesn't do very good contrast. Okay, the background and foreground instruments are kind of, they feel kind of monotonous. They do not feel very dynamic. Okay, there isn't that subtle kind of feeling to them. So that is kind of an issue if you are looking for a more musical sound. But if you are not exactly looking for a very musical sound, you want extra bit of definition, extra bit of details, you want that on your face kind of details, this is fantastic. Very good details, the highest amount of details of all these three. And the stage is very good too. But yes, that sonic ability of this one, because of the lack of subtleness, dynamics, this one kind of feels slightly monotonous. And of all these three, these are very similar, very similar. Very good with dynamics, very good with that contrast thing, and that subtleness. And the subtleness, what happens with the subtleness is that some notes are supposed to be muted. Okay, they are not supposed to be on your face. You should not be listening them as clearly, as transparently as the others. So with the S12, it is they all are in the similar energy region. That kind of makes it slightly monotonous, slightly less dynamic. While these two are very dynamic. Now, I do not think I missed out on anything. All of these are very comfortable inside the ear too. No issues with the size either. This one is the bigger one, but still the size is fairly small. You guys can see just as much as my digit, so slightly less than an inch kind of thing. So all these three are very comfortable. There are no issues with build or anything like that. I really like all these IEMs. No issues with any of this. uh, if you want a more musical, slightly relaxed kind of tuning, opt for the red face, THhifi red face. Okay, the box is not rightly oriented. Come on, that is kind of uh, disappointing. In any case, THIFI red face is the more smoother, more calmer kind of one with a good amount of bass to it. While this one is the middle ground, doesn't have the extra bit of sharpness of the S12. S12 isn't really that sharp with the treble region. Okay, treble is not very energetic. The upper mid and the lower treble region and some elements in the mid treble region are the aggressors here. It isn't exactly aggressive in the upper treble region, but in the mid treble, lower, and uh, upper mid region, this is aggressive. Kind of has the extra bit of energy, extra bit of sharpness. It kind of feels on your face and can annoy. Both these are not really annoying or anything like that. I find the some people say Tri i3 Pro is kind of intolerable. Maybe they are not driving it properly. They are using some source that is unable to power it properly, because let's see, this is 15 ohm, but that planar driver really needs good amount of power to operate. like most of us know that the S12 needs power. You want to see what is the impedance of the S12 through? It is 16 ohm. Okay, you guys can see it is 16 ohm. 16 ohm, but it enjoys power. So until unless you are powering this properly, these two IEMs are not going to sit well with your not very capable or powerful source. So in that in in that scenario, you need to power this properly to get the best performance out of them. In any case, they are not changing a lot. I tried weaker and more powerful sources, but they do not change a lot. But yes, definitely that extra bit of sharpness is kind of controlled with power. If you are powering it properly, that extra bit of sharpness is not that apparent or annoying. In any case, pick any. My choice will be this and this. You can pick any and you will be happy. There is no favorite in this comparison. All these three are excellent sounding IEMs. This is it, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Enjoy.